Your chicken feed bill is about to get a lot worse. Diesel costs, drought across the Midwest, global supply chain pressure. Every single one of those hits your feed bag before it hits anything else. If you're already dropping $80, $90, maybe $100 a month just to keep your flock fed, that number is not going back down. Ever. But right now, in backyards all across the US, a small group of homesteaders have quietly slashed that bill by 30%, some by 50%. Using a plant that costs nothing to grow, regrows itself every few days, and has over 40 years of peer-reviewed science behind it. A plant that most American chicken keepers have never even heard of. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what this plant is, how the science works, how to grow it in any US climate, including winter, and the honest truth about what it can and cannot do. No overclaiming, no hype, just what the research actually says. Hit subscribe right now. This is Verdant Harvest, research-backed practical knowledge every single week. Now let's get into it. Let's talk real numbers. If you're keeping 20 backyard chickens, you're going through roughly 100 pounds of feed every single month. At today's prices, that's $75 to $110 every single month. Over a full year, $900 to over $300 just to keep your birds fed. And if you're selling eggs at $5 or $6 a dozen, the math barely works. Feed costs alone eat up 60 to 70% of your total production cost. That's not a small problem. That is the problem. So, when people ask me, what's the single biggest thing a backyard farmer can do right now to cut costs without hurting the flock? The answer always comes back to the same plant. One that's been used across Asia for over 1,000 years. One NASA actually studied in the 1970s for growing food in space. And one that most Western chicken keepers have never heard of. And finally, the name of this secret plant is Azolla. And if you just said, what? You're not alone. Azolla is a tiny aquatic fern. It floats on the surface of still or slow-moving fresh water, looks almost like a green carpet on the water, and it grows fast. Under good conditions, it doubles its mass in just 3 to 5 days. Not weeks, days. 1 square meter of water surface, about the size of a small coffee table, can produce 10 to 15 kilograms of fresh Azolla every single month. And the most remarkable thing, it fertilizes itself. Inside every leaf lives a cyanobacterium called Anabaena azolai. This bacteria pulls nitrogen directly out of the air. No fertilizer, no soil, just water and partial sunlight. But here's where it gets really interesting for your chickens. I've got the actual peer-reviewed numbers. On a dry weight basis, Azolla contains between 25 and 35% crude protein. For comparison, commercial layer feed, 16 to 18% protein. Azolla is nutritionally richer in protein than what you're already buying, by a significant margin. It also contains vitamin A, B12, beta-carotene, calcium, phosphorus, iron, and essential amino acids. The beta-carotene alone is why chickens fed Azolla show noticeably darker, richer egg yolks, confirmed by researchers at the University of the Philippines in a 2009 feeding trial. In India, Tamil Nadu Agricultural University showed back in 1987 that replacing 25% of conventional feed with Azolla produced no reduction in growth rate, but significantly reduced costs. A 2023 study published in PMC tested Azolla at 15, 30, even 45% in broiler diets, improved body weight, better feed conversion, no negative effects on liver enzymes or blood chemistry. This is not fringe science. This is decades of documented, published agricultural research. Now, here's the part most videos skip. And I'm going to be straight with you, because the last thing I want is for you to set up an Azolla pond, go all in, and then watch your egg production drop. Azolla cannot fully replace commercial feed for laying hens. It's high in protein, but layers also need specific calcium levels for eggshell formation, balanced energy sources, and a precise amino acid profile that Azolla alone does not provide. Feeding your hens, only Azolla will reduce egg production over time. What Azolla can do and the research strongly supports this, is replace between 20 and 30% of your commercial feed safely. No reduction in egg production. Measurable improvements in yolk quality. For laying hens, 20 to 30% is the sweet spot backed by evidence. Climate note: Azolla thrives between 68 and 86 degrees Fahrenheit. Below 55 degrees, growth slows dramatically. Below freezing, it dies. In colder US states, it's a spring through fall system. Plan for that. Now, the part you came here for. Exactly how to set up your first Azolla system, step by step. Step 1. Container. Use a kiddie pool, livestock water trough, old bathtub. Anything that holds water, at least 6 inches deep. 1 square meter is a perfect starting size. Pro tip: dark-colored containers reduce algae competition. Step 2. Water. Fill with fresh water. If using tap water, let it sit uncovered for 24 hours so the chlorine off-gasses. Azolla prefers pH 4.5 to 7.5. Mixing in collected rainwater improves results significantly. Most guides don't mention this. Step 3. Starter culture. Find live Azolla through aquatic plant suppliers on Etsy, eBay, or permaculture networks. Search for Azolla folliculoides or Azolla caroliniana. Most common in North America, a softball-sized handful is enough to start. Before adding to your main container, float it in a small bucket for 48 hours. Spreads, good water conditions, turns yellow, adjust pH or try rainwater. Step 4. Sunlight. Most guides get this wrong. Azolla does not love full direct sun. Full afternoon sun in hot weather turns it yellow and slows growth. Morning sun, afternoon shade is your ideal setup. Step 5. Nutrients. Azolla fixes its own nitrogen, but needs phosphorus and potassium. A tablespoon of wood ash per week covers potassium. Diluted fish emulsion every 2 weeks covers phosphorus. Yellow Azolla almost always means a nutrient signal. Step 6. Mosquitoes. Standing water breeds mosquitoes. Most guides completely ignore this. Fix: add 2 or 3 mosquito fish or guppies to your container. They eat larvae and leave the Azolla alone. Step 7. Harvest. Scoop out roughly half the surface every 2 to 3 days with a fine mesh net. Always leave at least 25% covered so it can regrow. Rinse lightly. Feed fresh. Chickens may take a few days to accept the texture. Mix into regular feed at first. Start at 5% of diet and increase gradually over 2 to 3 weeks. Let's run conservative numbers. Not best case, not fairy tale, real numbers. 1 square meter produces 10 to 15 kilos of fresh Azolla per month. Fresh Azolla is about 90% water, so that's 1 to 1.5 kilos of actual dry matter. Run 3 containers, 3 square meters, and you're producing 3 to 4.5 kilos of dry matter monthly. For 20 chickens, replacing 20% of their feed with Azolla saves you $15 to $25 per month. That's $180 to $300 annually, from a system that cost $40 to $60 to set up once. Scale to 6 containers, $400 to $600 per year in savings, every year, with almost zero ongoing cost. It won't eliminate your feed bill, but it will meaningfully reduce it, month after month, year after year. 1 plant, a container you probably already own, a few gallons of water, a genuinely research-backed way to cut your feed costs without compromising your flock's health. Not magic, not a complete replacement, a legitimate, proven, low-effort tool that thousands of years of Asian agriculture and decades of peer-reviewed science both agree on. One question before you go, and I read every single comment. What's your biggest challenge with chicken feed costs right now? Price? Availability? Something else? Drop it below. Your answer shapes what I cover next. If you're going to try this, and I genuinely think you should, start with just 1 container this week. Get your water set up. Order a starter culture. Give it 30 days. That's all it takes to know whether this works for your setup, your climate, and your birds.